So I'm Kathleen Walker, and this is our Gut Check Athletes Meeting. We are part of New England Endurance Events. And tonight with me, I also have Michael Walker, who is my co-race director. So he's up there. And then I have my other co-director of life and other races, Andy Shirting, who will jump in as needed with questions that we can't answer. Um, so this is being recorded. So if you have any friends or teammates that are not able to join tonight, they can find us on YouTube. We'll also post this on that Gut Check website so that you'll have it there. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as I continue to let people in. Um, Again, if you realize you're not muted, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and muting yourself, I appreciate that. Um, all right, let's go ahead and get started. There we go. So if you're here for the gut check, you're in the right place. So just the basics, there's a number of you that have raced gut check before, and so you kind of understand the premise. I hope all of you understand the premise. This isn't a regular triathlon. I did have one year where someone said, well, where's the transition area? Oh, you're at the wrong race. So there are no transition areas per se at the gut check, but there are lots of checkpoints and lots of opportunities to transition from one thing to the other. Basic info. Hopefully you guys have already seen this on our website. Friday, we do have packet pickup 4:30 to 6. That's an area 6. So if you go into Nickerson State Park and you just keep going up, it's a couple miles. Andy, how many miles to area 6? 4 miles, 3, 4 miles, somewhere in there. You'll just keep going until you'll see it on the left. There are some signs that say like triathlon on Saturday, although I don't think the triathlon parking sign is out yet. That will go out on Friday, maybe. Okay, look for area 6. Race morning, 7:30 to 8:30. That's in the main parking lot, which is the parking lot when you first pull into Nickerson State Park. It's on the right. I'll show you a map just in case you're not familiar. That's where you'll actually pick up your packet if you hadn't already gotten it on Friday. That's also where you'll get a map that will show where you're dropping off your bike and if you have a sup where you're dropping that off. Um, Normally on Friday, when we do Friday packet pickup, people can drop off their bike and their paddleboard if they have it. On Friday this year, just because of how I can't give you any details, but where the bike is going to be and all of that, you're going
You'll
to hang
only
on.
be able to drop off your paddleboard, not your bike.
That's sorry if I didn't say it that way. Sorry about that. So you can drop off your paddleboard, not your bike will end up being somewhere on race morning that you'll be able to drop off easily. So you'll hang on to your bike Friday night, but if you have a paddleboard, you can drop that off. And you'll find out where when you pick up your packet. All right, we will provide race belts. So a race belt, if you're not familiar with it, every once in a while I get people who don't know, you'll hang your bib from these little fingers here. This will be around your waist. Take it off before you swim. If you're paddleboarding, easy enough, you get it the whole time. We'll also give each either individual or teams a whistle, compass, and everyone will get each team or individual will get a laminated map right before the start. You will want to bring a Sharpie so that way you can mark your course beforehand. That seems to be a big help. We also have safe swimmer buoys. This year we have to charge for them. We're running out of them. But I'll show you something a little bit later on. It tells you exactly how big this is, but it's a pretty good size safe swimmer buoy. It's big enough to fit up to a size 11 men's shoe. So if you are taking off, if you're swimming, you're taking off your shoes, you've got somewhere to put them, either your own safe swimmer buoy, or you could buy one of ours. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Um, Paddleboard rentals. Mike, did you say we have any spares? Right now, we are at our max of rentals from Supfari, who is the company um, that we get our paddle boards from. But we have ones for our lifeguards and all. I think, Mike, we decided that we didn't have any spare there, correct?
Yeah, we're pretty tight on paddleboard rentals.
Okay. So
Um,
um, there might be
I'm
some
sure
other.
we can. I'm sure if you're desperate, we can figure something out. But I would encourage maybe borrowing one from a friend. It's Cape Cod. There's someone around here that probably has a paddleboard, and they'd be psyched for you to use it in their race. So I would
Just
probably
keep
go
it.
for that.
So remember though, if you have a paddleboard, you need to have a PFD, or if you wanted, if you have a say swimmer buoy, you can have that. We just need some kind of flotation device on that. Um, you're going to preset all of your gear. So that is whether your paddleboard, you've got that out in the morning, it's going to have your paddle, your PFD, all right there. Your swim stuff, if you're swimming, of course, you're going to have that with you. Your bike will be pre-planted with your helmet, bike shoes if you're wearing those. All of that you're going to want to preset. And then we do have course hydration, so you're not having to carry that on your own. And timing because it's such a small race, we self-time. So as you go up to each checkpoint, they'll ask you your number. You'll give the number. We'll mark it down on our sheet when you came in, and we're going to give you a bracelet. So that's how we know that you've gone through each of the checkpoints. So you've got these nifty little bracelets. We did this last year. It worked out pretty well. So you can either ask for a carabiner if you have thick wrists or you just don't want to wear these on your wrist. For everybody else, if you want to wear it on your wrist, it's just like a little thing. And so you'll just put it onto rubber, and it seems to work pretty well. So at each checkpoint, you'll get one of these. And the checkpoints um, for us, like let's say, yeah, checkpoint one might be purple, checkpoint two is blue, or what have you. So you'll want to make sure that you've gone through the checkpoints in sequential order, and our volunteers and staff will know you did because your bracelet is in the correct order. If you've missed one, sometimes it happens, you come out of the woods and you're like, oh, here's a checkpoint. And you find out that it's actually one checkpoint beyond where you really wanted to be. They'll take a look at your wrist and say, oh, you missed one, you got to go back to wherever it is. So that way you know that before you get all the way to the finish line and find out that you missed checkpoint number three. That would be bad. So that's where we use these. Um, all team members must be present themselves at each checkpoint together, including the finish line. Your time as a team doesn't count until the last team member crosses the finish line. And you've got the award ceremony there. So we'll go through some other stuff. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys like how our usual format here. So I'm going through all the basics. If you've done gut check in the past, you need kind of like all that basic info, and then you can go have dinner. If you have never done gut check, then stay on and we'll go through some older maps, obviously not this year's map. But we'll go through kind of how all of that goes together. And then if you are completely new to everything, you got lots of questions, you can put them in the chat. Andy's here, ready to answer anything in the chat, and then we'll answer any other questions last. So that way you kind of get all of your information, and then we'll save the end for questions. So that's the format. Let's see how we go. Oops. Some of you still need a USAT membership number. So you can just go ahead and scan the QR code right here. Even if you paddle, you still need a USA Triathlon membership. It is our sanctioning body. It's how we have insurance, and you as an athlete has supplemental medical insurance. So let's say you end up tripping over a route and you sprain your ankle and you have to go to the doctor. Your insurance might cover a part of that, but the USAT insurance will cover the difference there. So it's required for every athlete. So if you have not already, if you don't already have your USAT number, which is usually you keep getting emails that say you need to finish your registration, this is what it's talking about. So go ahead and scan that. I will give you another opportunity a little later on to do that as well. But better to get that done before you get to registration because you have to do it on your phone. We can't do paper anymore, and the reception isn't always great in different parts of Nickerson, so it might be hard for you to do it later on. All right, so there we go. Here's our schedule. There's that Friday packet pickup. You will want to be at picking up your packet, I would say at least by 8 because you're going to need to get up and get all of your stuff where it needs to go and then get to the finish line by 8:45. So I start handing out that map about 8:45, 8:50. I will take any questions. Usually people, they once you get the map, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Let me ask a question. So we will be able to answer some questions at the race start and then off you go. Um, we still have a few spaces left for registration. So if anyone else wants to register, that 175 is race day. I think right now it's 160, which you can still do online up until Friday night. But if you have anyone else, let's say you've got another person you want to add to your team, they can do that race day. And we do have that rain date. All right. Okay. I think most of this is on the website, so this might be just a quick rehashing of it. Obviously, you have to have a bike and helmet. Paddleboard, if that's what you're doing, with a paddle and a vest, or a safe swimmer buoy. Obviously, shoes. We'll supply the maps and all that. Other things that have been helpful over the years is having some kind of marker because you're going to want to mark your map. Most individuals and teams, once they get the map, they'll kind of mark their course because we're just giving you checkpoints. There are no lines going from one to the other. That's up to you to figure out. The only thing that we'll say is you can do this, but you can't do that. Like you can't run on pavement. You can't go through there's a youth camp at in Nickerson. You can't go through their property. So there might be things like that that you're like, okay, how do I get around all that? You're going to want your marker for that. And obviously, things are going to get kind of wet going in and out of water or sups or what have you. So you want it to be Sharpie. And then you've got your other things here. I think these are also on the website. And then the safe swimmer buoys. Um, that I just showed you. So we have some still in the bag and all nice and neat. But we don't have a ton of these. So if you want one, let us know beforehand or come Friday night and there should be plenty. All right, there we go. Same info I just told you, just in a different format.
Crossing the road.
Yeah, I'm going to cover when we go to the map. Okay, Andy's going to remind me of some things. So make sure you're ready to do these things. It might be too late to be if you're not prepared to run 6 miles, might be kind of too late to figure that one out. But this is on the website. I think it might be refined a little bit. I think that on the website we had paddle up to 2.5 miles. It won't be more than 1.5 miles. So if paddling isn't completely your thing, but that's what you're doing on Saturday, at least you won't go quite as far. Um, there are a lot of hills, despite what people think about the Cape. Nickerson definitely has some hills, so you'll see hills on the bike and the run. And let's see where we're at. There you go. Okay. So Andy was reminding me about roads. But before we get into that map, I wanted to show you kind of where we are. So if you're coming from the highway, you're coming over here. You're going to go down Main Street. That Saturday packet pickup, Saturday morning, it's right here in that, I just lost my cursor. There you go. It's right there in that first parking lot on the right. If Friday you're coming to see us, we're going to be setting up. And not a huge secret since we've done it each year, the start and finish ends up being in area 6, which is way over here. So that's what we were saying before. You're going to go all the way down and around. Just stay on the same road until you make the left into to area 6. So this is for Friday night, pack a pickup. Saturday morning, you're just going to go right here to the at the bottom of the park. There we go. So here's 2022 map. This is all you get. So now you can see it's kind of up to you to be able to mark it. The right here, you're going to have the notes for you to remember, like no running on paved roads. You can go across a road, but you can't run along the road unless there are pink flags. So might be a spot or so where you're going to see some pink flags. It means you can travel on that area up until the pink flag might give you a little hint because there's a couple of spots that it's um it's hard to figure out that you are like how to go without going through camp areas, which are paved. You can't do that. So there might be a hint on it, and that's what you see right here, this little thing here. I think we actually had a board that year that said checkpoint 3 up that way. So sometimes we'll do something like that, or we'll put some flags along a certain spot of the road where there's no other way to go from a trail to where we're trying to get you. So if you see that, it has our logo on it, that means you're okay to travel right there. Anything else is off limits. If you are crossing a road, because there might be a few instances where you're going to be doing that or where you could do that, please look. The roads are open to traffic. There's not a ton of traffic, but there will be some. There might be bike traffic going through, so please look both ways before you cross. Um, Speaking of, somehow that reminded me of swimming. If we have red swim caps, so for anyone who's raced New England Endurance Events races before, you know that we have red swim caps for to indicate to our lifeguards that someone might need a little extra attention on the water. Either you're anxious about swimming or you have a medical condition. And so when you go to pick up your packet, you can ask for a red swim cap, and and at least Mike, Scott, and Andy and our lifeguards will know, let me get some extra eyes on this person for whatever reason. And this happens to be one of our old ones where we actually had the Gut Check logo on the
It's very
right.
helpful. I mean, even if you're questionable about that swim, like just throw on the red cap. Don't try and make yourself feel, like you can do it if you're questioning that swim. Like just throw on the red cap, and if you're good, you're good, and it's not a big deal.
Okay. Yep. I think that's it. Um, You see the checkpoints, you see the hint, we do give you the direction, and then this key will tell you what you're doing from one point to the other. So as you see from the start to run number one, or to number one, you're going to run there, but then you're going to bike from 2 to 3. Or you're going to swim from different points. So this is what you're going to use as your key. There might be an instance or so for this year where you're like, oh, well, rather than running all around, let's say a pond, I'm just going to swim across it. And that's unless it says in the key that you were to swim between point A and point B, then then you don't do that, even if it looks like that's more convenient because that would be the fastest way to get disqualified. So you'll follow the map. You'll have that with you the whole time. It's laminated, so you have no problem with it on the sup. And then you'll want to throw it in a dry bag or a safe swimmer buoy if you're swimming. So that also brings up when you're going from point to point, although we said you're going to plant your bike stuff with your bike, your helmet and bike shoes if you have separate bike shoes, or your sup and you have your paddle. Your shoes have to come with you wherever you go because you might be going from, in this case, they ran from 1 to 2. And so obviously they have their shoes on, but then at a later point, they're going to be getting in the water. So you're going to want to keep with you your swim cap, your goggles. And at another point, you're going to be biking. So let's see, segments 2 to 3 in this case was from here, you went from 2 and then you went all the way over here to 3. Well, if you didn't bring your shoes with you or your swim cap or something like that, you're not going to be able to continue on from there because you've got to kind of bring that with you. Now, you're going to be able to take your bike and wherever it is, let's say that went from 2 to 3, right? So you had your bike racked here, then you're going to rack it up here. You're going to leave your bike with your helmet and bike shoes if you had separate bike shoes or whatever else, the bike bottle, whatever you need on that bike, leave it there. You won't need that. But if you need something for running or for swimming, you're going to want to take that with you. All right. And again, we do have bathrooms, hydration, and nutrition at different points throughout the course. All right, so that's what's at our aid stations. Drip Drop we've been using all year long. It's a hydration product. It's really great. We love it. So we hope that you do too. And then you'll have these different items at those different aid stations, including water. You will see a flag at each checkpoint. It might not, in this case, he's going in and it's a bike out. It doesn't matter what the flag says. We try to kind of correspond it, but really by this time of the year, it's as long as you see a flag, it will help you to kind of figure out where you're going because sometimes you don't realize that it's your checkpoint's kind of around a turn or something like that. So the flags will help you with that. Don't worry about what the flag says. If it's a flag, it's probably a checkpoint. We do put a little sign at each of the checkpoint tables when we have the opportunity to put a table out. There'll be a sign that will say checkpoint 1, 2, or whatever. There's a few spots are a little more remote. In that case, you're gonna have someone standing there with a clipboard, and you can ask them, where am I? And usually they try to put up a little sign somewhere that will tell you what checkpoint it is. All right, there you go. That was fancy. I didn't know it was going to do that. Um, You'll want to take your shoes, as we were saying before, you'll want to take your shoes with you, even when you swim, because once you get out of the water, you're going to have to do something. So most people use a swimmer buoy that has a compartment. The ones we have compartments for your shoes, and you can, put a few other things in there as well. By now, you might be practicing with a dry bag, or say swimmer buoy. I would take that with you. There we go. So this is Andy's shoes right here, size 11. They fit inside the buoy without any problems there. Um, and good for you to know here. So the swimmers are going to have the orange buoys. Paddlers will have the yellow buoys. That's how you'll know which direction you're going in, depending on what you're doing. Most of you guys are swimming or have signed up to swim. We don't have a ton of paddlers. Um, but you'll look for the buoy. You guys will end up being spread out by the time that you're in the water for a number of segments. All right, and the boards that we rent are thanks to Safari. Let me go off the share and see. We've got a whole bunch of questions come up, so that's great. Andy, anything?
I think Mike has answered most everything here.
Um,
Do you want to read them?
Yeah. So for the
Right.
because we're recording this and the recording is not seeing the chat, I'm going to go ahead and read the question and then read Mike's answer. So if you guys bear with me, and that might bring up another question that you have. So are buoys mandatory? They are not, but it's the only way to get your sneakers unless you have running shoes that are really easy to drain and you're used to swimming with them. Like we have some of our swim runners on. Then, if you want to wear your swim run sneakers, great. Otherwise, you'll probably want that buoy. Um, the um, the rentals will be at the spot um, where the other people are bringing their, like if you're bringing a paddleboard from home, they're all going to be in that same area, which we won't tell you yet because then that's giving away part of the course. So you will be able to choose a paddleboard. Dawn will mark it. We have painter's tape that we'll put on it. It will put your name on it, and that way you'll be able to find it when it's actually time to paddle. You also choose a paddle and a PFD, and you can leave that all together on the beach. Um, yes, you can leave. Nicole asked if you can leave a paddleboard overnight. You can. We have several of our staff spend the night on the beach. And there are rangers that are around as well. We've never had an issue with that. Um, and thanks, Mike, for answering that one. Um, so Gwen asked about pull buoy. So Gwen just participated in the swim run last weekend. So she has her pull buoy. Actually, sorry, Gwen, pull buoys are not allowed at Gut Check. Um,
I'm sorry. I answered that one. Was it a pull buoy or is it like a swimmer safe buoy?
Okay, no, it is a pull buoy.
Okay, all right. That's my fault then.
Both,
I
both,
assumed that you were talking about like a swimmer safe buoy. Okay.
no,
Sorry,
those
Mike.
flags. So we can't use those?
No pull buoy. Sorry,
Right.
Gwen. But you've got to say swimmer buoy. So so you can take that. It's not going to help you very much with your shoes. Um, but Oh, and he's saying put your safe swimmer buoy between your legs. I would try that first. But why not, right? Yeah, give it a try before you before you go out there and you end up tipping over. Um, the all right, and Safari rentals include a life jacket. It does. So and Mike answer that. So the rentals for the recording, the paddleboard rentals that we have include a paddle and a PFD. I'm going to tell you they're not the prettiest. So if orange isn't your color, then bring your own. We do have PFDs, and you will need to at least have it on your board, even if you don't wear it. You just need to have it on your person. Um, yes, you can pick up your SUP rental on race morning. You will not want to wait until the race has started. You're going to race morning. Once you've picked up your packet, you're going to want to go pick out your board, get your name on it beforehand and have it sitting. You'll be able to put it on the beach. So you'll want to put that on the beach. You don't want to be doing that during the race. Um, there are aid stations at most checkpoints, not all checkpoints, though. Um, if there's a checkpoint that's remote, it's too hard for us to get a table there. But they are throughout the course. Um, the the size of the map itself is Rachel had it 8.5 by 11. It used to be. We just made it bigger. So the map's actually going to be legal size. Just so we can get, so hopefully you guys will be able to see it a little better. I think in the past, sometimes it's hard. You're trying to run, you're trying to figure out where you are. So we do have the 8.5 by 14 paper. Uh,
Sorry, that's
sorry, Mike, 8.5. We just
you're
changed
good. That's just the one that I have. So I
Yes, they've all been that way. I just changed it like
that
a couple
scale is a
hours
little bit
ago.
different, but I mean, it's not going to change too much from 1 to 30,000.
Right, right. It is. I don't take the map that, like the PDF map and then like stretch it out like that because that wouldn't be
Yeah,
helpful.
sort it
So it
and
is, I just take it and expand it, accordingly. And I don't think Reed, I can give you any more direction than that. It is all to scale, just, it's not distorted. Let's put it that way. Um, the good question about cyanobacteria. There had been several weeks ago that has been cleared up. So they reopened Cliff Pond on Friday. And we just did our own test today and it came out fine as well. So we have tested the ponds for, the usual E. coli stuff and cyanobacteria um, and the cyanobacteria has come out fine. That's a fast test. The other ones still have a few more. Well, now we're at 12 more hours before those come back. But we have heard from the staff that the ponds have been clear for the last week or two.
right. They test them around Labor Day, right? That's the last.
No, they actually test it more because the one of the because Cliff came back positive, so then they have to
Okay.
retest.
So
So
even yeah,
their state rule, just for everyone to kind of understand, the cyanobacteria has been a real issue this year, just all around the Cape. Once they test and they get a positive test, they then have to test, and they test once a week. They have to test for 2 more weeks and get a negative reading before they can open the pond. And so that happened last Friday. So 3 weeks ago, it was a positive test. They tested 2 more weeks in a row. Those were both negative, and that meant that they could open the pond. It's also cyanobacteria has it kind of looks like a green oil slick, sometimes green bluish oil slick, and that is not visible at all. And of course, we actually did the little test, little science experiment, and that came out fine. And the staff said that the state had tested and it had been fine. So we should all be good with that. If for some reason we got different information, we're not going to put you in harm's way. So we would either change ponds or adjust the course accordingly. Um, uh, the Yeah, Mike, sorry, I'm gonna mix what you said. So,
Right?
you need to,
What about the blazing the trail?
yeah, no blazing trails, please.
Well, yeah, okay.
No off trails. Stay on trails. Do not stay on roads, of course, but don't just plow your way through, through the woods. So you'll want to stay on trails for
You're
you and for the,
in your best interest to stay on the trail as well. It's not You're not going to help yourself by blazing a trail.
true.
It's
And you might get some poison
End up
ivy too.
going up some gnarly, hill with poison ivy and stuff. It's You want to stay on the trail, but
Thanks, Mike. All right, so Chris asked about leaving your shoes on the sup. Totally. I would totally leave my shoes on. That's one of the benefits of being able to paddle. You don't have to take them off. Um, and Mike answered that as well. So again, for the recording, Mike, I'm kind of going through everything that you already had in there. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Paddles for the swim, no paddles, please. So no paddles, no pull buoys. You can use a safe swimmer buoy that is different. No fins. Thank you. Andy's over here adding to me. So nothing that's going to propel you for the USAT rules. So nothing that's going to propel you forward without you doing it. All right. I think map size we covered. Let's see. All right. So Jane asked, do you have to stay on the hiking trails on the map? I think we covered that. No blazing trails. Um, so we can use trails that are not marked on the map. Totally. And that is a really good point, Jane, because although the map you would think has like every trail that's in Nickerson, when we've been out there, sometimes you'll end up with a trail and you're like, this isn't on my map. So that's up to you to decide. Do I want to take a trail that I don't see on the map and it looks like it's going the way I want, or do I only stick to the trails that I can see on my map? So that will be up to you, but you will find there are some spots that you're like, I'm coming to an intersection and I see 4 trails on this map, but I see 5 trails in front of me. So you'll just have to make that decision on what way you want to go. Um, and Mike did remind me that we do have compasses, so you can use a compass to be like, okay, what way
Yeah.
am I
So
going?
if you come up to that fork in the trail that's not on your map, but it's going in the right direction, then like you look at your compass and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll follow this for half a mile and hopefully it will get me closer to where I need to be. And then maybe in that half mile you find another trail that points you in a better direction and then you go that way.
Exactly. And then wetsuits was the question. So Zolt asked about wetsuits. You can wear a wetsuit. Keep in mind you're stuck with it throughout the race. You'll be stuck with it on the bike, and you'll be stuck with it in the run. So just kind of think that one through. The water temp right now is very low 70s. So it's still comfortable without a wetsuit. Maybe a little tiny chill, but it's not like 60s.
I was in it today and it was pretty comfortable for, I don't know, I think I swam just a couple hundred yards out to the middle of the pond and back for a test, but it was pretty nice. I would encourage no wetsuit, but that's up to you guys.
Um, all right, so 2 other questions. Somebody asked on our website, there are some pictures of people that don't have like any kind of like backpack or dry bag or something like that. How do they do that? So they might be paddle boarders. So they're just carrying everything with them. Or some people will wear their shoes. If you're wearing shoes, you want to make sure that they really drain well. Otherwise, they become nice anchors at the end of your feet. So and then you're sloshing everywhere as you're going along. So you can do that, although you have in that case, they're probably taking their map and like sticking it down their suit. So they have it. Andy, you have it.
It's like 2 or 3 of the photos are from the old format
Oh,
of the
that
race.
would do too. Okay.
There's a
Um,
good question about bike shoes here.
um, What about biking shoes? Can those be left with the bike? Yes, totally. If it's something that you're only using for the bike, leave it there. There's no reason to take that with you. But if it's some, like you wouldn't leave um you wouldn't leave your sunglasses at your bike because you might need those elsewhere, or you wouldn't leave, like other stuff. But yeah, bike shoes, totally leave that. Leave the helmet, leave a bike bottle. I would definitely have a bike bottle on your bike.
Hydration
Um,
stuff I would leave with your bike.
yeah. Some people will also like they'll have some of the, like the own gels, like whatever it is that they like, and they'll have that on their bike too, and that's perfectly fine. Um, the somebody asked about um taking a trail. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody was asking about taking a
That's
trail.
Steph Rubel asked where you don't follow the trail on the maps and decide to take a gander on a trail that isn't noted, get lost and have to backtrack. So what she's saying is um, follow the trail that you know sometimes, as opposed to taking that guess.
Good point. That's a really great point. Oh, we also give whistles. So if you get totally lost, start blowing your whistle. Somebody will find you eventually. We haven't actually lost in all the years we've done this format. We've only had two we had to go find. We did find them though, so there's the plus. But as a general rule, like you'll find the trail, you'll be like, all right, if I just follow this trail, I'm gonna find humans again. So a lot of people, that's the big thing, like they're afraid of getting lost. And there's only a few people that have done it, and only a few people who have done it really well. As a general rule, you're gonna be fine. All right. I'm assuming phones are against the rules for the trails not on the map that is given. Yes, please don't bring your phone. That kind of ruins the fun.
And in all honesty, your phone's not going to help you that much. I mean, you could throw a checkpoint on there and try and get there, but it's not going to give you anything else that we haven't already given you. So your phone isn't going to help you. It's going to slow you down and you can't swim with it. So
Oh yeah, thank you. That brought up a good point. Even with the safe swimmer buoys, now we have ours, and I have like five safe swimmer buoys in my car that I swim with when I'm in open water, and every single one of them leaks to some extent. So if you think like, oh, I'll just throw them in my bag, if it's your phone, I don't know if I would do that. So if your shoes get a little bit wet and they're not a big deal, but you certainly don't want to have electronics in a safe swimmer buoy. Um, the Drew, your question about your watch, that's fine to have to have a watch on and it's tracking distances, that's fine. It's only going to be marginally helpful. Um, okay. Anyone have any other questions? This is, I think, the fastest athletes meeting we've had all season. It seems like you guys are really ready to go and prepared. Um, all right, Andy, let's see. We haven't heard from Andy yet today.
um,
Do you have anything else? Wait, Andy's
I
gonna
don't think
Andy's
so.
you gotta
We're
come
looking
on,
forward to
Andy, come
seeing
on.
everybody.
Come sit next to me. Um,
We're looking forward to seeing y'all and um, remember you do have time before the race to ask questions of Kathleen. Will Beth Ann maybe be there? Mo? No. All right.
no, it would just be me.
I might be there.
Steph might be there too. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be at the start. Some people have asked in the past about spectators. Spectators are great. After you guys all go off for the race, then the spectators just stick around and I will give you maps as well so you have an idea of where they're going. And then I'll tell you the best places for you to be able to see your loved ones. So so that way at least your spectators not like sitting around at the finish line waiting a couple hours for you to show up. So we'll give them some direction on where to go. Colleen asked if teammates can pick up packets for someone else on Friday. Unfortunately, not. That's a USAT rule. You have to come to packet pickup, bring your picture ID, make sure you have a USAT card or a like a if you're if you in your athlete's account, if you see a USAT number, it's got a big thumb, big green check mark, you're good. If you don't have a USAT number before and you get it, let's say the night before, something like that, bring that email confirmation with you because we need to be able to check it off. Every person that goes through the race, we have to confirm with USAT that you have the USAT number. So you'll want to bring that, but definitely bring your ID no matter what.
Spectators, if they arrive after the race has started, and they may get in the way. So it'd
Oh,
be better for
spectators, yeah,
spectators to arrive before 9 o'clock, please. There
yeah.
is a parking lot on the outside of Area 6 where they can park
Well, and there might be cyclists on the road and things like that, and you don't want to
after
get
nine
in the way.
o'clock, but I
Yeah.
mean before 9 o'clock, they can park in the parking lot, the visitor parking lot.
Yeah, yeah, and they can park in Area 6, and I already told you guys that start and finish is there, so there's that. They'll be able to park, and you'll be able to park in Area 6 in the campsites. So you will be able to park. Usually, it's at least two cars in each campsite, and you'll just park and kind of be out of the way there, and then you're close to the start and close to the finish. Your spectators can park there as well. Um, Somebody asked about
Dog,
dogs. Dogs
dogs are
are
allowed.
they're allowed in the park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
The so just if you wouldn't mind putting them on a leash, and then that would be great. I love dogs. And
Clean
then
up after
Hmm?
and clean up after them. They're
Oh
very
yes, thank you very much.
obviously, but
Fantastic. And
yeah.
and give me a chance to pet them, please. I got
I was just walking my dog in Nickerson earlier, and like, yes, there's signs everywhere about, little kids stepping in, you know. Um,
all right.
Someone just asked about dropping bikes off Friday that I was about to respond to, but there will be no bike drop off Friday night.
Right. So you'll be able
Uh,
to drop them off on Saturday morning. It will be a relatively convenient place to be able to drop them off. So it's not like, oh no, it's going to take me forever to do that. If you have a sup, though, I would suggest dropping it off Friday night.
In other years, we've allowed bike drop off, but the logistics don't work out this year to do that. On the question about can a spectator bring another map with them?
Yeah,
Can
that's
I drop my only hint? I know you have a few
oh,
hints on the
sorry.
course.
Go ahead. Yeah, yeah, we want to hear.
It's called All Trails.
But if
That's
somebody
my hint.
uses all trails, then like they can't use it there during the race. So
You
would they
can
print
you
out?
can print out an All
Oh,
Trails map.
okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, actually, All Trails has lots of
Crowdsourced
trails.
the entire trail network. So that's the bonus for people who have stayed with you for this long. The 37 of you.
So there we are. 44 minutes in, you got the biggest hint of all. Um, all right, there you go. You got a little heart from Matthew Sullivan. All right, so I don't see any other questions in here. Is there anything else that we didn't answer? Did we miss anybody? All right, I'm gonna give it a few seconds. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys all being on tonight. If you have a team member that wasn't here, we are putting this on YouTube, and I will put it on our race website, so people can watch it. I do suggest that if you've got friends that are doing this too, that they do watch because there's lots of information we just talked about tonight. Um, we look forward to seeing you either Friday night or Saturday morning, and you are going to have the most fun. This is going to be the most fun you've had all season. You guys will confirm that after the race. You'll say, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So you always have lots of great smiles after the gut check, no matter what. And hi, Martha West. Good to see you. All right. You guys have a great night. Good night.